Jolan true, Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I am Commodore Derek. Yes, we did get promoted, of the Dreadnought RAS Gavia, which I am told means seagull. So, that's interesting. We are now a rat of the skies. Anyway, we are doing relatively well. The Gavia is a light dreadnought, not anything super huge and or powerful, but decent enough for what we're trying to do. It's essentially a battlecruiser at this point. And I think we're all topped off, ready to rock, so let's put out into space without wasting any more time, and there's nothing there. Then again, that is a tile that we own, so it's not a really big deal if we don't find a mission there, but we go on our first patrol. And we are still sort of trying to test out this new mic, sort of getting it set up for the way that we want it. We've changed position on it a couple of times, I've messed with the gain a little bit, and we're just trying to dial in on what should sound reasonably good. Before, the gain was still a little bit too high, so we've turned it down even more. We've flipped the mic upside down, partly because of the way that it hangs on the new stand. And not too bothered with this configuration. This is actually pretty decent. So hopefully the sound quality will be good, because this is fairly comfortable. So let's increase speed. Let's actually see how fast this light dreadnought goes, because we didn't check that the last time we got it. So right here is where we're at, and oh wow! We can make 24 or 25? I think that's 25 in speed. That is impressive. Very nice. Which just goes to show light dreadnoughts, battle cruisers. Well, they're sort of like better battle cruisers in a somewhat odd way. So the way it ends up working is the heavy cruiser concept is cool and all, but what they end up really wanting is something that will be fast, hard-hitting, and able to go in, destroy convoys, wipe out supporting units, and then hop on out without being hit. Now, they didn't really have the technology to make that work in a smaller hull form, so they basically just took the Dreadnought and said, you know what, you don't need quite as many heavy weapons as you think you do, and basically brought down the gunning on them, which left a ship which had a lot more power to be able to shunt into engines or shields, if you want, although as you can see, we're not super well endowed with shields here. And because of that, you end up coming out with a really nice ship, but in later years, they'll eventually figure out how to better miniaturize things and put basically all of that, what we have into what is essentially a heavy cruiser design, thus the battle cruiser. And I am definitely looking forward to being able to upgun into one of those. Another nice thing about these light dreadnoughts is they have a 100% chance for a high energy turn, which I intend to abuse. Fire a plasma torpedo and start to pull away. We do have an R-type plasma torpedo, but I would like to save it, because if we can, it's a lot of firepower that we can dish out. I'm anticipating a wild weasel, but there it goes. So we're going to pull away, and then we'll high energy turn back on in and basically unload absolutely everything that we have into him. I am a fan of this design. It looks very, very cool. It's just kind of feels very Romulan to me, sort of the combination of shapes that you might see on the Klingon vessels as well as the distinctly Romulan style ships, really speaking to that just post Klingon Treaty of Friendship. So we're going to swoop in, very swooping, and circle around back on to him, get that R-type plasma torpedo off into his face, and he will hopefully die. It probably won't take one shot. He is an FFRL, which means he's got not a whole heck of a lot of systems, but I am anticipating him being a little bit tougher than the average freighter that we run into when we do most of our battles for convoy assault missions. And let's prep all the other torpedoes to follow this up, because I just want to see if one will do it. It did not. That'll do it. And the ship is annihilated. So we're not really used to flying light dreadnoughts. We very much tended to stay in the much bigger, heavier battle-type ships. So something meant for the front line to really duke it out with other ships. So being a light dreadnought means we can't really do that. If we want to, we're going to have to play smart and clever. So more responsibility on our side, which is cool because, you know, we like having to be forced into a little bit more difficult tactical situations. And combine that with the fact that we're playing on Admiral, which has opened up quite a few tactics that the AI likes to use. This has been proving to be a very interesting campaign, and we're still relatively early on in it. I don't think that we're going to get a speed record on this one, but that's probably for the best, because the longer we get to spend in this ship, the more fun we get to have. Not necessarily this ship, but just Romulan ships in general. I really am liking the flexibility that they have when it comes to defensive and offensive options, thanks to the cloak. The only thing I don't really like so much is the fact that, well, they are rather limited in terms of offensive firepower for a sustained engagement. Romulan ships, I think we've discussed this before, but it's worth going into again. Romulan ships really feel like they're designed for the Alpha Strike. So you have very huge, hard-hitting plasma torpedoes that, frankly, at the end of the day, end up getting somewhat underutilized because of the existence of wild weasels. Now, yes, we could resolve that a little bit by firing pseudo-plasma torpedoes, but we still then have to hunt down that wild weasel and take it out. In a real big gun duel, that probably won't be such a big deal because they'll try and increase their speed as soon as the wild weasel goes away, and so we'll be able to get in on there without having to waste that at all. But it does make me a little bit hesitant just to go bring up the plasma torpedoes and fire all the pseudo-torpedoes, because then you got to get in there and shoot down his wild weasel. Now, one advantage, though, that we do have a little bit here is the fact that Romulan ships are extremely maneuverable. Not as maneuverable as the Klingons, but quite maneuverable. So we should be able to actually do that sort of tactic where we do this, and then we pull away. I'm anticipating a wild weasel. And hopefully we'll have the maneuverability to come back in on him. The Bully. What an excellent name for a pirate vessel. So we're going to get the high energy turn to go right back in on him. Straighten him out so that we come right back around. All weapons select. We'll get it right on in here. And when the plasma hits, he will cry. Now, the wild weasel will be in effect until he hits a speed of 4. Let's start to slow down, because I do want to hit him with absolutely everything we got. Oh, it's going to be close. There we go. Just in time to slam everything that we had into him. So that is a tactic we may end up using. It's a little bit more difficult to try and pull off against a full-on, like, dreadnought or battlecruiser for, the simple reason that they will have enough firepower to really badly dent us if we try and take those kinds of liberties. But against smaller ships, bullying them is always a good time. So let's increase our speed, sort of pull away from him. We have a lot more power than he does. And I don't think we'll be able to outmaneuver him. He is, after all, a light cruiser, and we are a dreadnought. But we still should have a decent amount of nimbleness, simply because we can put enough power to move at a speed of 25. We're going to set the reinforcement to all. He does have 2 plasma torpedoes. I'm not sure if they're ready to shoot or even what their arc is. I would hope that they're a narrow forward arc, but really the side arcs are not all that uncommon. So we're slowly sort of cruising on in. We want to get within a range of 4 before we within a range of 5 before we start firing phasers, but I'm going to keep on doing this until either he pulls out of that front arc or we start pulling away from him. So the idea, get as much damage as we can. We managed to completely bust down that shield. Wow, that plasma strike did 82 damage. That's pretty impressive. Not hugely impressive. I mean, theoretically it could have done, let's see, 50 plus 80, 120. So 38 points of shield-ish? That seems way too high. I've got to be calculating something wrong in there. I know the R-type plasma torpedo does 50. I mean, I think I know. We have a 74.5% chance of a high energy turn. I don't really want to risk that, so we're just going to keep up with the phaser bombardment. I was hoping to be able to catch him on this lower side, but didn't quite make it into that. Yes, this is a somewhat dull spin battle, but we don't have a whole ton of options. Oh, I guess we do. So the S-type plasma torpedo does fire out the starboard side. The R-type plasma torpedo is a fairly narrow arc, so we're going to have to get a little bit used to the way this ship is supposed to operate, I guess. So the R-type is very much a forward-focused weapon, and the F's covering the flanks, and that S-type torpedo just to ruin everybody's day. Plinking away with one of our phaser 3s, he fires back. Didn't do anything because our 360 shield reinforcement is more than enough. And there we go, scoring a nice big hit right there. We've taken out most of his systems at this point. Let's start to slow down. I don't want to get too far in front of him, and I would like to bring these R-type plasma torpedoes into range of him. So as we curl around, I think 15 should be around our corner speed. I don't know if that actually changes in game, if there's different corner speeds for every ship. I thought there were. That was my impression. And there we go, the pirates annihilated. Not really a fair fight, but then again, we've been on the reverse of this equation before, so I'm not too broken up about that. So mission complete, closing session, and we'll see what we can deal with. 176 prestige, not bad, tile taken, and no mission here to handle. Interesting. So let's push out into here. We do need to start getting a forward operating base somewhere around here. I'm going to avoid the planetary assault for now, mostly because if we go in that one unsupported, we're going to have a bad time. Light dreadnoughts are not really siege vessels, although we could do it. I mean, we've done it before. Let's increase the speed of the vessel all the way up to our maximum of 25. Now we'll drop 1, and that'll give us enough power to charge a whole bunch of things, because I think it spends 1.5 points of energy, so we're at 5.6. So 1.3. Huh, that's not too bad. So 1.3 points of energy is spent every time we want to increase a movement. And we are facing a dreadnought. Is that... Yep, she's definitely a Federation dreadnought. And judging by the ship design, I'm going to guess a heavy dreadnought. Am I right? I am very much right. Oh, the DNH, the heavy dreadnought, is a devastatingly dangerous opponent. And I am not happy that we're having to fight her. So, how do we want to go about this? Federation heavy dreadnoughts are big, nasty crush machines. Luckily, it's not a DNH-X, but then again, we're not quite in the area to face those yet. So let's just get full... 6 photon torpedoes and 6 missile launchers, or is it just 4 photon torpedoes? I do think it's 6, though. Could be wrong on this. Nope, 6 photon torpedoes, 6 missile launchers, okay. And then 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 phaser ones versus our 7. Okay. The trick to fighting this one is going to be to play on the edge of what he can handle. So our Wild Weasel's ready. We can go up to our full speed. We're going to set the reinforcement to all. It takes us 28 points of power in order to cloak. So we do need to keep that in mind. I think what we end up doing is we cloak, get in behind him, and then try and duel him. All our plasma torpedoes are ready. Let's slow down the speed. How much energy am I shoving into my shield right now? 2, 3, and 1 more, right? Nope. So long-range incoming fire. It ricocheted off our shields. And that is everything that he had to play with. So increased speed, full power. Let's come up with 2. We are going to pseudo this, because he's just used his big stick. He's fired all of his photon torpedoes. He's fired all of his phasers at a long-range shot. We have an opportunity to get in here and try and do some damage. We're going to fire all the pseudos and pull off. Let's hope this baits out what we want, because if not, this is going to hurt. It did. It did do what we wanted, although we could have actually hit him with that. So here's the plan. We're going to get right up on his stern, and we are going to cause as much pain as possible. We do have to shoot this shuttle down, because unlike normally, the USS Thresher, excellent name for a ship, the Thresher is going to have a really, really slow acceleration, although I may have spoken too soon. All of it's firing to his stern. Ow, did we take that hit? Yeah, the shield went down. I need a hard starboard turn right now to get that shield away. We're going to set up the shield reinforcement to the forward shield only. And now, plasma torpedoes, everything engaged right here. Tractor defense is on, and this should take care of almost everything that he has. Phasers, follow that up. We don't have any phasers to follow that up with. We did get a really nice hit on this, though. We've knocked out a whole bunch of photon torpedoes, but we do need to keep this weakened shield away from him. So let's keep slowing down. Let's make sure that we get the right side facing towards him, because I want the forward shield on his front, and we also need to avoid his front, because he has photon torpedoes ready to go. And I think we can keep dogfighting with this just a little bit longer. Alrighty, so we are making that turn. He is really starting to pull away now. So more incoming missile fire. Our defenses are active, so that'll be able to handle most of them. Yeah, all of them. So we do have them grabbed now. Let's keep increasing the speed. I want to keep on his stern. If he gets us around to his front, that's just going to absolutely gut us. We need to change the shield reinforcement. We want on these 2 shields. They're going to be the most important for now. Hopefully we'll keep this shield away from him. I'm not super thrilled about this battle. His phaser capability much outdoes ours. Cloak, we got to disappear, because he's going to get that nose on. And if he gets that nose on, he'll be able to fire photon torpedoes, and that's going to be huge. Thinking about shutting off the Plasma F torpedoes, although we do hold them for free. That is an important thing that we get. Slow down a little bit more. That's what we were hoping for, that he would fire his photon torpedoes and basically get no hits. So we're going to slow down. I want him to pass over me. If you come right for me, I can dump a nuclear space mine. And that'll be a big hit. So, not sure I've got the angle for it, though. He did get a couple of hits through. It's nothing serious yet. Let's get the engines repaired. Let's get those phaser 3s repaired. Now, that's the angle. That's the angle we want. Full power. Let's get out of here. Make sure that that hits. If that hits, that'll be big and important. I need that on now. It didn't go off in time. Crap. Come on, a cloak. Maybe not. That was probably... his phasers are not yet online yet. Let's come around. And another mine. Let's start to build in some distance here. I need to get these plasma torpedoes back online, and that's a problem we're having right now, because they're not charging. We spent a lot of time under cloak. That was a lot of time that he got to prepare things that we didn't. So we need to build in some distance here. We also need to curl in on these mines. How is he outmaneuvering me? That's a concern of mine. So let's keep coming around. Luckily, he didn't hit us with that one. Probably a 50% chance to hit with that. The second photon torpedo, that one did hit. How many more of those you got, friend? Enough that makes me annoyed and scared. Our plasma F torpedo is slowly being chewed away if we don't get some serious distance on this. So let's increase speed a little bit more. And we gotta build in the distance here. We also need to start building in the attack shift any time now. So let's go with phaser 3s, get them patched and repaired again. We're gonna come around the horn here. And I think we're gonna need to spend a couple of points on our ECM. That way he can't really get a good hit on us, which is important at this point. If we keep coming around this mine, he won't be able to do a whole heck of a lot with it. See if I can't just bait him into it. If he runs into that mine, that'll be great. That'll completely strip his forward shield. He is still hitting us. It's not dealing a ton of damage just yet. And our plasma torpedoes are ready to rock, so we're good and preparing to engage. He hit it! Why? I'm not going to look a gift horse in that mouth, but that was huge. That was important. That knocked out a shield in its entirety, and we will be able to engage from this now. So let's go and S-type plasma torpedo to the face. He's going to try and drag us into his photon torpedoes, which I am expecting at any moment now. Yep, there they go. And was that a weasel? Oh, friend, that may have been a mistake for you. All weapons select. We need to come around his stern. We really do. I don't want to engage right on his front, but we may not have a whole lot of choice. F-type plasma torpedo, and that's what I was a little bit worried about. But if you're going to open yourself up for that, then I may have an opportunity to engage. We get the R-type plasma torpedo going. Phasers to knock that down. That'll be a hole that we can really exploit now. 47 damage. Oh, that got a lot through. We are going to pull away a little bit. I think we've taken more damage than him. Not a ton more, though. I don't think so, anyway. We still have a plasma torpedo ready to go. Let's avoid our own mine. Let's not do what he did and hit our own. Well, it was our mine that he hit, but he's doing a speed of 6.4 and steadily increasing. Yeah, once he gets to around 6-7 speed, his acceleration really starts to pick up. I'm going to assume that's a feature of the ship, or maybe not. Is he only doing 8.4? Because if his speed is limited to 8.4, then we hit something important, and that'll be huge. He doesn't appear to be really changing that. Interesting. We'll have an F-type plasma torpedo to sort of probe him out. We need to get a little bit closer, though. Unfortunately, in order to avoid coming around to his front, we are having to expose ourselves. Although, let's take advantage of that hole. We're going to run him over. All phasers fire there. Tractors are engaged. Oh, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt badly. Let's see if we can't get the stern weapons firing. Oh, our plasma S torpedo just came online. We mistimed that turn a little bit, and that's going to be a problem. Repair work. Keep the repair engines going. I want the shield reinforcement happening as fast as possible. Our S-type plasma torpedo is ready to go. We're going to launch that as soon as we can. I don't care that it's not going to hit through the down shield. We just want to get it out. And the main thing is, if we can crunch down that forward shield, that really takes a lot of things off the board for him. So S-type plasma torpedo. Oh, most of our phasers just ended up having to fire for that. There we go. And I don't think you have another wild weasel ready. You do not, so we'll fire that one, and now we'll pull away. We do have an R-type plasma torpedo ready to go. His forward shields are down, and that's going to be important, because now we can start dealing damage to the majority of his forward-facing firepower. There's a higher chance of causing damage to a weapon system if you shoot it in the arc that it can shoot from. So if he can take out his forward weapon systems, that's extra chances of hitting his photon torpedoes. We have luckily managed to reverse this turn, and that's an important thing. So the ability to reverse this turn has meant that we get to have our better, more powerful shields up online, and we're going to go with these three here. We don't need the port side shields reinforced anymore, but I am a little bit worried about these three here. And as we curl on in, we might get another R-type plasma torpedoes. That should strip this shield completely off. And his shield, his shuttle bay is down. So we're just going to fire plasma torpedoes at the fastest rate that we can manage. And if it hits that back shield, oh, that'll be wonderful. It didn't, but that's fine, because now we've opened up yet another shield on him. He's only doing a speed of 8.4, He's lost his stern-firing phaser 3. He still has his stern-firing phaser 1. We've got another F-type plasma torpedo. We'll put that into his stern right there. Tractor defense is engaged. Unfortunately, we're going to take a couple of missiles to the face. That was bad, because now we're opened up to a counterattack like that. Repair parties are still operational. I got to cut this turn off here. We got to pull alongside of him, which is not a beam struggle. Crap. Tractor beam. Repel. Engage. Just need 1 point of energy on this, and we are showing our strong shield towards him, so we will be able to engage with a plasma torpedo, which should suck for him. Oh, he let go. Or did we finish the charge? Yeah, we finished the charge. Fire the plasma torpedo. And let's get this hitting on that shield reinforcement. It did. Okay. Follow that up with anything we've got. We don't have anything. We do have an F-type plasma torpedo that we can engage with. And there we go. But we'll get this forward shield back into the fight. And this is the only thing I want reinforced right now, because I'm relatively satisfied having this as our only shield up. Most of our phasers keep just having to engage those missiles, which is half the point of them. But we are able to get a couple of more hits in. Let's increase our speed. That is going to pull away from our shield reinforcement, but we're doing really good here. It's a heavy dreadnought. It's currently losing to a light dreadnought. We're going to have our R-type plasma torpedo up again, and that should deal some seriously nice damage. I think he's out of ammunition, and that will be huge if that's the case. Let's get that R-type plasma torpedo out before we actually take any damage from it. And there we go. A good hit right there. Took out a couple of his heavy weapon systems. That took out even more. He's lost his tractor beam, so we won't have to worry about that anymore. A couple of his phasers are charging, and we don't have much defense on our shields anymore. Yep, he just cut right through that one. But we should be able to continue the turn on. Hey, Thresher, how are you doing for Marines? Let's fire back. Let's see if we can't get him to stop doing that. They're beaten. Okay, phasers. Let's open him up. I want this ship. Not because it's worth anything at this point. I mean, it's crippled, as you can all see. But because Light Dreadnought is about to steal the this heavy Dreadnought. Oh wow, we have a lot more transporters than I thought we did. That's 6. Let's pull away. Okay. Now that was a fight. Oh, I enjoy battles like that. Technically, we are outmassed, we were outgunned, but we managed to take on the USS Thresher, a heavy dreadnought, and stole her. I am quite pleased with that one. Let's see how much prestige that was worth. 420. Nice. And we do need to go home for a little bit of patchwork, because our ship is a little bit dented. Supply 107 plus another 8, so 115. And look, we've got the new SUKFs. These are the Superhawk K command cruisers, which, no idea. I'm assuming that it's just the 2 additional phaser ones. Not interested. We have our current, like, large battlecruiser-ish thing. Scrolling down, anything all that cool. KCR, we'll take a look at that in a moment. So the KCRs are heavy battlecruisers. Oh, so the first heavy battlecruisers have now showed up. Not quite our firepower range, although they do out-phaser us quite badly, which would be really nice to have, because that kind of sustained phaser firepower would be amazing. Unfortunately, we are a little bit beyond it, although we may come back. That's going to do it for an episode right there. Managed to take on a dreadnought. I am quite very pleased with that one. It's not unheard of. I mean, but it's always nice when we were outmassed, outgunned, and we still managed to take him on. And we didn't even use our pseudo frigates, which we have. Oh, that would have been a much more even fight if we had remembered that. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. How's the sound quality going on this one? We are still tweaking things in, so let me know what you think. And I will see you all in the next episode.